everyone and welcome back to another Buildmas video. So in today's video we are going to be doing my Plaza seasonal switch up. If you're familiar with my channel and my builds, I switch up my Plaza for different seasons and different themes, whilst keeping the core parts of it the same, like the layout and everything, to kind of show you how I switch things up per season and kind of don't have to redo the whole biome every time basically. So today I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be switching it up from winter to Christmas. I'm obviously going to keep on the winter castle and the winter plaza well, because they obviously still fit the theme, but obviously the rest of it is going to be a lot more Christmassy, and I'm going to be using a lot of the new items from the winter warmth starpath. So let's get started. So to start off with, I'm going in with some of the items I knew straight away where they were going, like the archways at the entrance and things like that. With this build, I do kind of go back and forth and change things a lot of times and change the placement of stuff, as well as remove some things that I normally would keep in my plaza. I end up getting rid of the two back houses, so the Haunted Mansion and the Victorian house, which you'll see later on. And I also do get rid of the water structures at the front. At first I put the icy pieces in them, but then I realized to kind of create the style I wanted and add the different sections I knew I wanted to do, there just wasn't enough room. So as you'll see, I'm changing the location of the bakery and the coffee shop, removing the foliage by those and adding in two of the winter market stalls that were from the premium shop last year, to kind of start adding in those bigger structures and figure out the spacing, because I knew there was a lot I wanted to fit in and not much space to do it. And the first section I obviously removed was the Victorian house on the right, and I actually added in one of the Arundel centre things that are in the winter warmth starpath. I was going to use this as kind of like a pathway, but I realised it was just too big to kind of fit into the plaza space I had, and instead I decided to use it as a kind of introductory pathway into the Santa's grotto that I knew I was going to create. This was something that I knew would take up quite a bit of space, so that is why I removed the house and added it here. So I placed in the city centre, added in some of the inauguration ribbons to be kind of like our entrance into the grotto, and then as you'll see, I start using some of the candy cane fences and some furniture to create a little hidden grotto behind this big building structure. And once I'd done some of the design of the back of the grotto, I then went into the front and added in some of the candy lollipops we got from a Vanellope quest a long time ago, because I just love using them around the Christmas time. Added in obviously a bunch of presents, which is going to be a very consistent theme in this build, and also the new hot cocoa truck that we got from the current starpath. So that I really want to include, because I absolutely love this truck. I think it's one of my favorite things in the starpath. And once I'd done that, I added in a couple of sleighs, as well as starting working on the seating at the front of the bakery and the coffee shop. I kept it very, very simple because there wasn't much space here now that I'd rotated the buildings, and I added some wintry items to the front and on the tables just to continue that theme, but obviously made it a lot more downscale because I knew there was going to be a lot I needed to fit around this area, and I wanted to still make sure there was pathway that was maneuverable to work on. And then I started working on the gazebo on the opposite side. At first I was going to make it like this little cozy kind of bonfire area, but the kind of like fire pit we got in the starpath doesn't obviously fit in here because it's too tall, so I actually decided to change that as we go on. But before that, I added in some of the Christmassy lampposts. I don't yet obviously have the gold ones from the winter warmth starpath, so when obviously I get enough tokens to unlock those from the bonus rewards, I will obviously be adding those in as well. But for now, I obviously just use these festive ones until we can get our hands on those gold ones. Now, as I said before, obviously I couldn't fit these chairs and the fire pit into the gazebo, so instead I decided to add a festive table with some chairs and some plates, and I do obviously end up adding some food as well. I just thought it'd be a really cute, quaint little eating kind of dining area. It reminded me of when you go to restaurants at Christmas and they've got those special tables that you can book where it's like in an igloo or it's in like a kind of festive area, like a special one. That was kind of the vibe I was going for, and then I added in obviously the new little winter warmth bar that we got next to it to kind of fit that vibe. And then I moved the fire pit and the benches to a little gap I had between two buildings, which I felt like it fit really perfectly in. And then I continued to add some items, ended up adding some snowmen and some of the light up reindeer on the ends of the pathway, as well as adding in some of the items that I had had previously in the biome when it was decorated for winter, and kind of continued adding those bigger pieces of furniture. Now obviously for lighting in here, the wintry like Christmassy lampposts don't give off a huge amount of light. If you have them, you'll know they kind of only have a little candle in, so I decided to add some of the Beauty and the Beast candelabras that I use all the time. I added these all around the biome, a lot more than I'd usually use, just because I needed that warm glow to really help with the lighting in here, and obviously it just fits the Christmassy feel to have these really nice warm firelights, but obviously also to help with the fact that the lampposts don't light up too much, so until we get those gold ones in the current star path, these will help out a lot to keep things a lot brighter in here, especially in the darker times of day. once I'd added some of the kind of final bits of furniture into the grotto, I obviously started adding some trees behind. I used some of the wintry ones that we got in the winter bundle that obviously came with the castle and everything like that, but also added in some red trees and some of the Wish Blossom Ranch kind of snowy festive ones. A lot of the plants and trees I do use in here are from Wish Blossom Ranch, so do bear that in mind if you don't have it. There are definitely alternatives in the base game, like there's a snowy pine tree that's in the base game, so you could use that as an alternative, but I just really love how these Wish Blossom ones look. And then I also added some of the Wish Blossom snowy fencing, and I kind of swapped that out for the marble fencing. I wasn't originally going to do this because I really love how the marble fencing looks, but this fence with the snow on it was just absolutely perfect to fit with the Christmassy feel. Once I had done the trees behind the buildings, I then obviously added in some of the plants before I started working on the side that had the Haunted Mansion in, and I actually decided I wanted to add the really Christmassy like family style home that we got last year in the premium shop. I just felt like it was the perfect opportunity to use this house. I usually obviously always have it up in the Frosted Heights when that's decorated for Christmas, but I felt like it'd be really nice to have in here, and I added some fencing around it to make it really feel like a family vibe. And then obviously I do go in and add a bunch of trees and a bunch of plants and everything like that behind it to really tie it in with the rest of the build, and then obviously added some decorations in front as well. Now once I finished up all the foliage in the biome, which obviously took a while, I then added in my final furniture items. So I added in a couple of barrels and craftable items such as carts and crates and things like that. And then I obviously was very liberal and added a lot of presents. Obviously if you're on a lower item limit, you do not need to add this many presents. I just went really overboard because I love Christmas and I'm fortunate enough that my valley's not fully decorated and that I have a large item limit, so I could just go completely mad with the presents in here. So that is like just to bear in mind. Please do not feel like you have to do as many as I did, but I wanted to add as many as I could possibly get into this biome to really make it feel festive, give it as much of a vibe as I could, and as well as that I added some of the new snowy like rocks to the pathway, and I do go in later and add in some of the base game snowy little rock pieces as well, to really make it feel kind of quaint and very villagey, and obviously added some of the gifts to kind of wrap everything up. Now the final thing I did in the build was went around, added in some melted candles all around the biome. These are the ones from Storybook Vale, but you could definitely also use the ones from Scrooge's store. And then I added in some of the floating melted candles that we got in a previous star path all around the build. I didn't want to add them completely everywhere just because it can be a bit overwhelming, so I added them to the key focus areas like entrances and exits, over certain builds like the grotto and things like that, just to give it a really nice warm vibe to finish up. So here is the final build. We are starting up from the well, and as you can see, we go through this beautiful lit up archway to the craftable tree in the middle. This is one that you can craft in your crafting station, a rug from Scrooge's underneath, and then obviously the archway out with the illuminated fountains and hedges to kind of give this area a really nice glow, and then obviously the candles above to tie it all together. We've obviously got our bakery as our first house on the right, where we've got a little bit of seating outside, the sleigh with lots of gifts, and then we have our first Christmas market stall. I absolutely love these ones from the premium shop. I wish they were doing more this year. We then got our Santa's grotto. As you can see, very cute queue line outside. We go through the Arendelle city centre from the current star path into Santa's grotto. We've got a little camera there to take pictures of him with the children at Christmas. We've got the magical fireplace from the starpath behind, and then obviously the hedges at the side to keep it feeling really enclosed, and just like a really secret hidden grotto. We've then got our little hot cocoa truck with, again, more gifts and these snowmen and reindeer at the back, and then our little archways at the end of the roads to just be like the closing part of it. We've then got another one of the previous starpath trees with lots of gifts next to the flower shop, and then a little hot cocoa stand in between that and Lady's house, and then a little wagon filled with some gifts. Obviously, as we head down the path, we've got the wintry lampposts going overhead. As I said before, these don't give off a huge amount of light, so obviously I added some extras to help with that, but obviously when we get the gold ones in the star path, these will be added as well. We've then got obviously the coffee shop and our next Christmas market stall, and another tree in the middle. Then we've got our really cute Christmas family home. This is one of my favorite premium shop houses, so I definitely wanted to use it and add some gifts outside. We've then got our winter bar with some festive drinks on, our dining table for people to hang out and have their Christmas dinner with lots of snacks on it. We've then got our matching archway and kind of design similar to the other side, and then next to our exit down to the meadow, we've obviously got Belle's library, and then the little winter warmth area where we've got our fireplace, our benches, and obviously lots and lots of gifts. So here are some shots of the final build. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think this is my favorite Christmas plaza design I've ever done. I do feel like the winter warmth star path has given us so much to work with, and a lot more Christmassy stuff. It was my hope for this year that we get another Christmas star path, so I'm very, very happy that we did. I've used a lot of the items in here, and I have some key favorites like the cocoa van and the little seats with the fire pit. I just absolutely love how they all look and how this all came together. I genuinely am not going to want to change this plaza once Christmas is over, and I just love how it turned out. Let me know down below what you guys think, and if you have been decorating yet with the new winter warmth star path items and how you're finding it, and if you're enjoying using them. I hope you guys liked it and are enjoying Buildmas. Make sure you like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content from me and you want to see more. Obviously there is still quite a few more to go leading up to Christmas, so I hope you guys like them, and I will see you tomorrow for the next one. Bye.